Hello everyone. Finally a game. I almost fell asleep there. Okay, d4. Let's go d5. Summer Holland 18, 2100. Not the highest rating, but what can we do? I've been waiting a long time for the game, so anything's good. Bishop g5 without knight f3. I think I can take on c4, and on e4 I can go b5 and bishop e2, bishop f3 is the threat, followed by knight b5. So dc4, e4, bishop b4, bishop e2, e6, e5. I know that I can punish this with dc4, but I'm never sure about all the lines. Still, let's go into this. I know that dc is the critical continuation. I'm gonna have to study this weird line. Also, bishop f4 is similar. You still take on c4. e3. Okay. So now if I go b5, there's takes, and queen f3. Takes, and queen f3. Yeah, why didn't I think about bishop e2, bishop f3? If b5, knight b5, c b5, queen f3 just picks up my rook. If I'm not mistaken. So b5, knight b5. Can I go knight e4? Oh, why am I already in trouble? No, that doesn't work. b5, knight b5, c b5, queen f3, queen d5. What am I talking about? It does work. b5, knight b5, c b5, queen f3, queen d5, e4, queen d4, e5, queen e4 check. Yeah, this works. Although my opponent can throw in bishop takes f6. Maybe he could have thrown in bishop f6 as well to prevent queen d5. Okay, but let's go back to this. a6 unplayable. I could go queen b6. Queen b6 takes. Queen f3, bishop b7. Seems to work. Queen b6, queen f3, bishop b7. I like queen b6. I'm gonna play queen b6. Because that prevents AB, CB, queen f3. Now I have bishop b7 in all the lines. I'm never sure about these positions. I'm sorry, the village is waking up, so cars and birds and the old guy with the tractor will come around soon, I'm sure. I think the tricks are over, now that bishop b7 is an option. But I'm never sure. Because the main threat is taking and then something on the diagonal wins the rook, but now with queen b6 there's bishop b7. So if a, b, c, b, knight b, queen b doesn't work. If queen f3 immediately, I can go bishop b7, and then if a, b, c, b, the queen is attacked. If, let's say, knight f3, then e6 or knight d7, probably e6 for bishop b4. If b3 I can take, queen b3, maybe b4. Oh, actually on b3 I may have b4 immediately. b3, b4, knight e2, or maybe a5. Yeah, okay, I will think about it when my opponent makes a move. I'm not sure, but I think I'm a pawn up. Bishop g5 without knight f3 is, I know is a bad move, but, and I know I'm supposed to take on c4, but I'm never sure about all the variations. I will try to talk less during critical moments, because I tend to talk, to talk, but sometimes I think I should stop and think and play this like an actual game. It's very hard for me to play and talk and concentrate while recording, so probably queen b6 was a good move, because now my opponent's thinking queen f3 doesn't work, e4 doesn't really work, ab doesn't really work, bishop f6 makes little sense because it develops my f8 bishop, bishop e2, I can go e6 or bishop b7 or knight d7. There's always b4 to consider, there's d5 for white to consider, especially after bishop f6. But I'm not gonna calculate anything until my opponent makes a move. There are many moves here. AB, a5, b3, knight f3, bishop e2, queen f3, bishop f6, d5, rook c1, I don't know, g3. There are probably 10 reasonable moves for white. d5 immediately, okay. So I was thinking I can go b4. Can I go b4? b4, probably bishop f6. b4 If not bishop f6, what can my opponent do? They can go a5, or knight e2, or knight b1, or knight a2. If the knight moves, I just go knight d5. That much is clear. If b4 and the knight doesn't move, then bishop f6 seems to be the only move. Then I play ef6. And then the knight's still attacked. And then let's say knight e4. cd. I mean, I can even go bishop b4. No, I cannot go bishop b4 because my pawn is on b4. Okay. b4. I like b4. I'm gonna play b4. I don't see another way to fight against d5. If bishop f6, at least my bishop's open, and I'm covering d6. My queen's covering d8. We're equal on time, that's good. I mean, usually in these anti-Moscow type of positions where black takes on c4, white is ahead on the clock significantly. The only question is, do I take on d5? Okay, the knight went to a2. The threat is bishop c4. So can I play something unreasonable like bishop a6? Because if dc, then knight c. Bishop a6. What about rook c1? Well, my opponent also has d6. d6 is extremely uncomfortable. Bishop a6, d6, knight d7. How does that look? I mean, I'm gonna hold on to my pawn, because I don't see why not. d6, I have knight d7, followed by c5, taking the d-pawn. I know I'm risking a lot, but I don't see an immediate issue. I feel like I'm a pawn up, and the knight on a2 is definitely offside. Okay. Now I was thinking I can go b3 here. b3 threatens the knight. The knight only has c3. b3, knight c3, bishop b4, b3, knight c3, bishop b4, threatening bishop c3 and forcing rook c3. What are the alternatives? c3, bc3, b3 traps the knight. c3, bc3, b3 traps the knight. c3, bc3, b3. Is there rook b1? Ooh, there's rook b1. Oof. c3, bc3, b3, rook b1, ba2, rook b6, and I'm not queening. c3, bc3, b3, rook b1. Ah, come on. Okay, b3, knight c3, bishop b4. Saves my pawn at least for a move. So I'm gonna do that. And eventually this b3 pawn should be strong, because if my opponent ever moves the b pawn or captures on c3, I want to castle and go rook d8. So bishop, knight c3, bishop b4. Something. Castles. Oh, the guy with the tractor is coming. I'm sorry. Okay, bishop b4. As planned. Sorry about the tractor guy. He's going to his field. It's 7 AM. Okay, castles has to be correct. Now with bishop e2 I can take, queen takes, and rook d8. Seems very scary. Okay, my opponent took on c6. Do I throw in rook d8 now? Where can the queen go? The queen only has e2. But, do we delay? No, we play rook d8. We play rook d8. Because if queen e2, then my opponent would have to play g3. Oh no, there's also knight d4. Sorry, rook d8, there's knight d4. But I can take on c6. So rook d8, queen e2. Yeah, I'm playing rook d8 first. Rook d8, knight d4, knight c6. Rook d8, queen e2, knight c6. Seems to work. Knight d2? Okay, interesting. So my opponent wants to play bishop e2, followed by castles. But I will have knight e5, knight d3. So knight c6, bishop e2, knight e5, castles, knight d3. Bishop takes d3, rook takes d3. That's crushing, that seems crushing. Also I can play queen c6, simply defending c4 and preventing the bishop from moving away. That seems even better. But wait, the knight on c3 isn't pinned anymore. Queen c6 or knight c6? I like queen c6 because I'm also threatening bishop c3 followed by queen a4, and I'm preventing bishop e2. Although I'm not connecting my rooks. So queen c6 or knight c6? Knight c6, bishop e2, knight e5, castles, knight d3, bishop d3, rook d3, queen e2. Yeah, I'm taking with the queen. I want to prevent the bishop from moving. I know that queen c6 seems weird, but why wouldn't I prevent the bishop from moving? My opponent's position is completely tied down. Queen g4. That makes sense. My opponent's attacking the c-pawn multiple times. So can I go queen e6? The knight on c3 is completely pinned, completely tied down. So what about queen e6? Wait, what about queen d6? And if knight c4, then bishop c4. Okay, my opponent would have rook d1 there. Rook d1 works. I can also go queen d7. But queen d7, rook d7, knight c4 is good. So queen e6, f e6. And then my opponent can take on c4. No good. That's no good. I have to speed up. I have to speed up. Is there nothing on d2? Bishop c3, rook c3. Queen a4. Can my opponent afford to keep his rook on c3? I don't think so, because I have queen a1, queen b2. So bishop c3, rook c3, queen a4, threatening queen a1, queen b2. I like that. I'm gonna do that. Okay, queen a4. My opponent does not have time for bishop e2 or bishop c4 because I play queen a1. I think my opponent cannot take on c4. I think queen a1 is too strong. Sorry, the seagulls have woken up again. Wow, really? Well, I don't take now, because on queen a1 I will not have queen... Wait, queen a1? King e2. Queen b2. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I like that. Okay, that makes more sense. So when I play queen b2, how does my opponent save the rook? Okay, they have rook b3. I did not see rook b3. Oh, but rook b3 doesn't work, because I play queen takes d2, queen takes d2, rook takes d2, king takes d2, bishop takes c4. So queen b2, rook b3, queen d2 check, queen d2, rook d2, king d2, bishop c4. I like that. And castles isn't possible. Yes. Okay, so queen d2, rook d2, king d2, bishop c4. That works. The bishop's not defended, the bishop's not defended. Yes, come on. Okay. So I'm still up a pawn. But could I not threaten... Oh, I don't have rook a2. Rook a2, bishop b7. Rook a1, king e2. Wait a minute. Rook a2, bishop b7 is the only move I can see. Rook a1, king e2. Wait, am I worse? Rook a2, bishop b7 has to be played. Rook a1 check, king e2, rook h1, bishop takes a8. I have to save my knight. I have to defend the back rank mate. So knight d7 is the only move I can see. Okay, I have to go for that. I don't see anything else and I'm gonna flag. Okay, I had miscalculated, it's just equal, but I can probably take on h2 without too many issues. There's bishop e4? Bishop d5, sorry? I don't know, I'm taking. Jesus, I'm gonna flag. Oh no, there's rook f7. There's rook f7. I have to go for a draw. I think. Ah! Yeah, I think I have to go for a draw. Oh, come on! Me, and you think practicing against the engine is boring because it either crushes you or plays like an idiot. Try playing against Nocti. Nocti is a human-like AI that's going to adapt to your strength, is going to play like a human, try to trick you like a human, and challenge you on your own level. The first thing you can do is, of course, assess your rating, and you can play a rating test against Nocti. Yeah, the only move is g4 and then queen f4 mate? Yeah. Good. Yes! 2557! Come on! It's going to tell you your strength, but there are many more features. The first thing is when you play Nocti, you get instant feedback, and all of your moves will get sort of color coded. Nocti will immediately tell you if you made a mistake. That way you can ask Nocti to see where you went wrong. You can play games in openings you're trying to learn, so you can import any repertoire you want and play Nocti in that specific opening. Just go to repertoires. I've imported the Hillbilly when I was doing the video on the Hillbilly, but you can obviously create any repertoire. Just paste the PGN, and if you, for example, play the London system, you can play the London system against Nocti. Flashcards are an excellent tool, and I've spoken to Samuel, the owner and inventor of Nocti. He's going to make them even better. Flashcards are basically the mistakes you made in your games. Nocti is going to make you pay attention to them, and in the future they're going to be grouped according to theme, so it's going to be even easier to navigate your mistakes. One of my favorite features, if not my favorite one, and the one I use the most, is themes. So you can play Nocti in any specific position you choose. So if you go to your themes, you can see that I've made quite a few. So let's say you want to play out this position. This is a position from Spassky's game where he triangulated perfectly. If you're trying to practice something, you can create a new team, just add an FEN or a PGN and play it out against Nocti. That way, if you have an endgame you would like to practice, you don't have to find an actual human to play against, nor will you have to play against a 2800 engine or against a 500 engine human. If you would like to check Nocti out, you can follow the link in the description, and if you would like to get a 64% discount, use the code HANGING Pawns. Thank you very much for this. Thank you, Nocti, for sponsoring the video, and let's get back. Oh, come on! This was a very exciting game. I had no time left in the end. I think I had to go for this. So, come on! Okay, let's analyze. Let's just... Okay, so it gives you a sign for threefold repetition. So let's just say... Instead of this, I go, so here, yeah, instead of 96, I go G6. Then the problem is, there's Rook F7, and I could lose. Having said that, I am losing, so not that. Let me just remove the variation arrows. So if I go H5, then I still lose on Rook F7. Yeah, I still lose. So let's go back before Rook H2. Should I have gone Knight E6 straight away? And then Bishop D5 and G6? Yeah, but then my opponent plays H3 and it's still just equal. And I never have King G7 because of Bishop E6. Okay, okay, this is my analysis of the final position. Now let's do it with the engine. So Bishop G5. You take on C4, that much is fine. E3, B5, okay, correct. A4, Queen B6, correct. D5, B4, Bishop F6 as expected. Wow, black is winning. Okay, Knight A2, Queen C5. Oh yeah, Queen C5 makes a lot of sense. Bishop A6 is okay. Rook C1, B3, okay. Knight C3, not Bishop B4? Why not Bishop B4? Okay, it's fine. Okay, Queen G4. That's slightly annoying. Knight F3. Wow. Castles. DC6. Rook D8. Knight D2. I should have played Knight C6. Queen C... Okay, Queen C6 is still -4. Queen G4. Oh... I could have gone to D3 with my knight either way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't see bishop b7, so I was calculating only queen a1, something, queen b2, rook b3, queen d2. Wait, rook d2 is winning? What's the difference? Rook d2? Why is this different? What if queen takes? Ah, it's check! Oh, idiot! I saw the tactic, but I didn't look at the other option. Yeah, if I finish with a check, I can take. Oh no! If I finish with a check, I take. On queen d2, I end up taking with the rook, and it's not check. My opponent can play bishop a6, bishop b7. Yeah, now this is all equal, I'm guessing. Yeah. So if instead of knight e6, or sorry, if instead of... Yeah, no, there's nothing I can do. If I go h5, I'm sure I'm losing. Yeah. Man. Okay, well defended by my opponent. I mean, I did mess up. I think queen c6 is my biggest mistake. I was tempted to play here and take on b2, but knight c6 would have been much simpler. So yeah, this isn't hanging. The bishop could move away to e2. Wait, I have rook d2 straight away? Oh yeah, I'm just winning the queen. Yeah, I didn't see this. Oh, I played very poorly. I had a good position, and then at this point when I should have converted, I didn't. Okay, so wow, really high accuracy, and it seemed like such a bad game. How can my opponent have 90% accuracy? He was completely losing at some points. Okay, I don't really trust this accuracy score. It makes very little sense. It seemed like a bad game from both sides at one point. Okay, still, it was interesting. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.